Hey, people, this is the time. I mean, we are legitimately worth a shit this year.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, outsiders of all ages, starting off as one of those Wednesdays. Chris Bennett's with us. Chris Bennett from Washington State. What's up, brother? What's up? Somebody else jumps in. Flintstone foot job. Nice. First it's Lambos, then it's Elon parking his Jason Dick-shaped rocket in front of the stadium. Yeah, we're going to get into some branding discussion tonight. I am Chad Hastings. I am one of the outsiders. I should probably back up a little bit while it's just me. Chance Mock took a phone call right before we went on. Jason Dick is helping a family member move, or so he says, and Bo Edge is having computer issues. I see Chance sitting down right now. He'll join me in a second. And we have a special guest, but we will definitely talk some branding tonight. If you're a Longhorn fan, we simply want to know, what brands are worthy of your brand? We're going to talk about it tonight. And we do have, no, not that way. That way. There's our quarterback, Mr. Chance. Chance, it's just you and me right now. How are you, sir?
You know, these intimate settings are always good when it's just you and me, Chad. This is
Is that an amen I see? Is that an amen poncho?
This is an amen poncho. Well, I need to go. I'm still not used to the backwardness of it, but yeah. And
look at that. The poncho hat, the poncho shirt. Remember, we are the Outsiders, brought to you by Poncho. Go to ponchooutdoors.com. I've told y'all that my dad, Doc Hastings, has fallen for the poncho. Now my man, Rick Sacamano, has done it too. He took advantage of a Father's Day deal. He's got 3 brand new shirts he was telling me about earlier tonight. As soon as he models them and gets me a picture, we'll get him on the show. And that really is the rule for all of you. If you get us a picture of you wearing a poncho shirt, we will put you on the show. We've done it before. ponchooutdoors.com. It is not just for Colts pictures anymore. If you want to jump in on the Specs chat, feel comfortable to do that. Insider Ag says looking good, preppy.
that's because I'm wearing the preppy hat, you know.
Oh, the preppy hat. I was going to say.
Hey, did you notice, Chad, this effect that my camera, I don't know what it's doing. Okay. Right now it's bright. You can see me. Everything's good.
Yeah. Yeah, look at that. That is good. You know what? I tell you what, here we go. Chance, I'm going to set you up. It feels like a good effect moment. Here's what it is. And then, Chance, late in the movie, they had to shoot Old Yeller. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Hey, we could do that for Jerry West. The logo passed away today, man. How sad. NBA loses one of its greats and the inspiration for the logo. Rest in peace to the great Jerry West. All right, so we definitely will not have Jason Dick with us tonight. Again, he is helping a family member out. We're hoping Bo's computer works out. If not, it'll be Mach 5 and myself. And later on, Chance, one of your former teammates is joining us, Aaron Williams. Yes?
Aaron Williams. He's going to be joining us. Look, we've been trying to get him. I don't know. You know, he's a little bit younger than me, but so I was the upperclassman, but man, big fan of his at Texas. He was phenomenal, and what he went on to do with the Bills. It's funny. The first Bills game that I took my son to, all of a sudden they always have a legend of the game come back, and they do the old hey, and they do the whole thing with the stands, and they do the where else would you rather be than right here, right now.
Marv Levy, yeah,
yes, the Marv Levy speech. Well, Cash, we're sitting in that end zone, and I'd gotten him. We're 12 rows up, right there in the corner. I mean, Aaron is 15 yards away from me at most. Mm-hmm. And Cash is all into it, and I said, "Hey, bud," I said, "You want a little teaser?" I said, "Play with him at Texas." Well, he was a little bit after me, but I said he's a Texas boy. Cash was all excited about that. So since that day, he's been going, "Dad, you got to get Aaron on the show. You got to get Aaron on the show." I'm like,
there you go.
Today, we get Aaron on the show.
There it is. We don't know if we can count on Jason Dick and Bo Edge tonight, but we think we can count on Aaron Williams. So that's coming up a little bit later. We are also going to get into, again, I think we will, it really is this is a conversation worthy of Texas fans. We'll get there, but it is a Wednesday outsider. So Chance, what are you drinking? I saw the device there. This looks like one of those fancy new things everybody's got. What are those called?
No, this is a Chance Fancy. So this is an Arctic. It's not a Stan Lee.
Oh, excellent. The Arctic. Good call, because I did the same thing. This is some knockoff too. This is not the big dog.
If you think I'm paying $50 for a cup, you've lost your damn mind. Like that ain't happening. But for $14.95 at your local Walmart, you can get an Arctic that looks like a Stan Lee. Not for $14.95. You can fill it with a little thing called MVP vodka with my guy Roy Williams and BJ Johnson. Their vodka. Put a little water in there with some lemon juice. Oh, so good.
Well, we're doing a vodka battle tonight because, Chance, I've decided to pay tribute to an 80s movie classic. I've got 3 different kinds of Deep Eddy vodka mixed with water. I'm going to call it the Triple Lindy tonight. That is right. It's going to be so good.
Hold on. Put that cup back up there. Put that cup back up there.
And we're doing it out of the old school. This is NFL. This is the old NFL, the NFC Central, or excuse me, the old NFC East with your Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, Cardinals, and Redskins. Old school.
When they had the 5 teams.
That's right. The 5-team divisions for you kids that don't remember. So we are going to be drinking a little bit tonight, and we are going to be talking, Chance, about the upper crust of college football, because that's where the Texas Longhorns live. And something happened last weekend that, frankly, never happened during your time at Texas, but I think we need to talk about it. And it got a lot of attention. It's happened before. It's not the first time. But last weekend, Chance, some recruits showed up, just like they will this weekend and next weekend. Big recruiting weekends for Texas. And these guys show up, and they're walking into the facility, and Texas had lined up Lamborghini after Lamborghini after Lamborghini. I think it was 5 or 6 or 7 of the bad boys lined up. They had music blaring. And I looked at that video, Chance, and I just thought, now that's being Texas. And again, this will be from my perspective, an outsider's perspective here on The Outsiders. So we want to know from all you Texas fans. You love Texas. You love the burnt orange. You bleed burnt orange. What are the brands that are worthy of your brand? Now that we know you could put something on your jersey, and you can put something on the field. In fact, you can put 3 of them on your field, something at midfield and alternating 25-yard lines. We want to know the brands that are big enough for Texas. That's what we want to know. Now, our man Chris Bennett is drinking a Dutch Brothers Churro Freeze. I think he's just telling us what he's drinking. I don't think he means Dutch Brothers needs to be on the field. But either way, Chris Bennett, thank you for telling us. And then Chance. Now, Carl jumps in and does what I think a lot of Longhorn fans may do. No more advertisers or business sponsors, because you guys are also classy as hell when it comes to uniforms. Look clean. Don't change things a lot. Chance, give me your thoughts here. You literally wore this uniform. You went out on that field. What's your thoughts on this whole corporate sponsorship thing? If Texas should dip their toe into the pool here, and if so, how to do it?
So here's what I would say. You do not do it. And we've got Texas is fortunate because we have some incredible brands. I mean, we've all watched in College Station the last 2 weekends, Bluebell Field. I mean, one of the greatest brands in the history of Texas. We all love Whataburger. You've got the Dr. Peppers, H-E-B. Those are all the ones that everybody wants to talk about. But I think you hit on it, and we had a text in our group text, and I thought you were exactly right. Like, it has to be something that is truly Texas. And Lamborghini is one of those, right? You've pointed out some phenomenal reasons why it would look good they go together. And I'll let you expand on that before I get into my more extensive conversation.
So when I saw it and I thought about, Bijan Robinson had the Lambo deal. The starting center for this football team has a Lambo deal. Jake Major sitting in that car. People know what that image looked like. And then you see all these Lambos. And I start thinking about it, and I watched Bijan with a couple shirts, and they had a logo that was kind of orange. So I found one right before the show, Chance, and you don't have to go with the fire, but look at this freaking thing. Longhorn fans, think about it. It's literally a bull logo. It's a bull with horns on the logo. and it's badass and it's fast and it's clean and it's get out of my way. And it's just something, Chance Mock, that my argument is, who else in the SEC could do that? Just think about anybody. Is there anybody else in the SEC that would dare think of doing something like that? Hooking up with the Lamborghini like logo and attitude. There's only a couple other places in the SEC that even have dealerships.
Well, right, because that's the beautiful thing about the SEC. Like, I don't know if, and it's what makes Austin a little bit weird is, which Austin always stays weird. You look at the towns in the SEC, right? Gainesville, Florida, College Station, Starkville. I mean, Knoxville's a decent size, but it's not huge. You know, like you go through Tuscaloosa, Auburn, like they're not big towns. Like,
Right.
I don't even know how many of them would have a Lamborghini dealership. Like College Station fit into me very well with SEC, which is, you know, everything, it just means more. Well, it does because I would say 90% of those towns take Vanderbilt out of it because obviously Nashville is what it is. You know, take UK out of it because, you know, that's a bigger town as well. But for the most part, you know, Baton Rouge, okay, that's a bigger town. But for the most part, they are towns built around the universities. That's what makes them so cool. That the university is the flagship of the towns they're in. That's where everybody is employed that works and that lives in that community outside of the students. They either students, you know, a lot of those towns are 150,000 people and 40 of them go to the school and the other 40 work at the school. And then the rest of the population does something that supports the school, right? That's why they say it means more because it does. So Lamborghini, I think, is a big one. But I start thinking about like the British Open, right? You just see that one Rolex logo right there when they're about to tee off, right? Like, I think it needs to be something like that. You don't make it a NASCAR where you got brands everywhere, but that Lamborghini logo, like when you own that, not only does it give a certain amount of swag and it does say we are Texas, at the same time, it's very enticing to young guys, right?
Yeah. Well,
when did Oregon get big, right? When Nike started going and it became the cool thing to do. So I love it.
And that's the thing too, Chance. It's got to be, you said before the show, you made a great comment because it's perfect. You said something that makes the guys go, oh shit. Like that's what it's about. If we're talking about the jersey, the one thing I can't think of anything you could throw on that jersey that would have a little more of that to it. That, oh shit, look out, we're different than everybody else. And it would feel real. It feels like a connection. It feels like Texas trying to be badass and sort of being what the brand says it is. And so we had a fan this week, Chance, talk about where they found Lamborghini dealerships throughout the Southeast. And I believe the list was Austin, Dallas, Nashville, ironically. I think maybe Atlanta, maybe. But there aren't that many direct places. Austin is the only one that literally has an SEC team in it that also has a Lamborghini dealership in it. Right. And you know, like recently, like Ole Miss has messed with it, but I think Ole Miss is getting theirs from, I guess it's Atlanta or Nashville, whatever the shortest trip is into Oxford, because they do there's a Lamborghini, like, I don't know, extension, some kind of store that, you know, that Kiffin's messed with. So I think there's kind of a discussion to be had there. All right. I am seeing the possibility of a Bo Edge, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see if this is Bo. Bo, before I bring you in, I feel like you need to flip camera. I feel like, is your camera straight? Let me Let's bring you on and see. Let me see your hat. Yeah, you need to flip.
I'm on a computer that I can't flip it on. You're just going to have to deal with it. How about that?
Okay, that's cool. That's all right.
Even better. You're still just as beautiful with your camera backwards, Bo.
That's true. You are.
But the week that I'm having, the hat flipped. Deal with it.
The hat flipped is going to be good. You know what, Bo? I tell you what, you have perfect timing because as you enter, I want you to tell everybody about the relaxation that you're thinking of thanks to the good folks at Engage Vacation. Let's tell the folks about Engage Vacation. Nobody needs one like you right now.
I can't deny that the premise, if I can just make it to Monday when I get on a plane with my lovely wife to celebrate our 20th anniversary a couple months late in Cancun, it will be perfect because Engage makes it perfect. Engage listens to what you want and helps you plan the ultimate trip for what you're trying to do, whether it's Disney, whether it's Caribbean, whether it's a cruise, whether it's Cancun, like I'm going on, Puerto Vallarta, family friendly, adult friendly, whatever you need. Engage Vacations will take care of you. Scan the QR code 512-922-3322. Give Chad and Teresa a call, and they will set you up from start to finish, from the transfers on the vans to the accommodations at the hotel to excursions to dinner reservations. Whatever you need, they get it done. And the best part, it costs you nothing. They work with the resorts. That's how they get paid. You don't have to pay them a dime. Just tell them what you want. They take care of it. It's Engage Vacations.
All right, there you go. Thanks to all our great partners here at The Outsiders and Orange Bloods Live. All right, Bo. So we've gotten into this branding conversation here. By the way, Aaron Williams coming up at 9 o'clock. We've been getting into the branding talk. And my argument, Bo, as a non-Longhorn lifer, is that if you're going to throw a logo on that jersey and you're going to allow it, this one's pretty damn cool. It's a pretty damn cool logo. It says a lot of things that Texas likes to say and maybe should say. Give me your thoughts as a fan. You're in the stands for games. You love them to death. You know what Texas is, but you also know what you believe they shouldn't be. What do you think about the logo ideas for a jersey and a field? Are you willing to cross that line?
I don't like it.
Bo, before you go, let me just say this. Before you answer, think about this. Texas doesn't need to be NASCAR. I see all the texts. I see all that. We don't need to have HEB and Dr. Pepper and Whataburger and Earl Campbell's Hot Links and all that other shit.
Ooh, that's a good idea. They did name the field after him, Chris Bennett. It's a good call. Earl Campbell's sausage.
But they didn't name it after his sausage, okay? So let's stay away from that.
I'm not touching that one.
But my argument, Bo, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, because I am a traditionalist, and I think there are certain brands that build with it, or your jersey with but I'm with Chad on this one.
So I came into this conversation late, but my answer is twofold, Chad. One, I don't like it, but I don't have a vote. And the reality is everybody's going there. We're not going to act like we're better than it. I think it would be dumb for Texas not to embrace what everyone else is doing. If whether I like it, think it's cool, whether the people on the chat line think it's cool, if the 17, 18, 19-year-olds think it's cool, we need to have a little of it. We need to appeal to their sensibility because this is about them too. So Lamborghini would be perfect. But here would be my thought, Chance, because this is where I think we take it to the next level if we were going to do something like that. Align with one of the elite financial institutions like Berkshire Hathaway or something like that. Now, it sounds cheesy. It sounds dorky. Kids won't like it, but you know who will fucking love it? Their parents. When you go in to recruit a kid and say, part of what we're doing is bringing you into a lifetime of learning how to invest your money, how to use your money. I'm not saying that's the only logo, but if you're going to put a Lamborghini on the right chest, have something smart on the left chest. So when you go pitch it to the parents, you can tell them that you're taking care of their kid from age 17 to age 70 and not with a New York Life presentation, but maybe actually mentoring them with people.
Maybe you throw that on the 25-yard line, Chance, and not on the jersey. I don't know, but I like that idea. I thought of like a financial kind of thing. I thought of that too. That's a way to say you're badass, Chance.
Well, see, I think those are ones you don't put on the field. I think, number one, if I want to teach them about financials, I'm going to teach them about Arch Public, and I'm going to throw that in the NIL deal, and I'm going to be like, look, you don't have to know shit. All you do is the money in there. You wake up in the morning and you open the app and you go, oh, shit, I made money. That's a beautiful way to do it. But beyond that, I think if you're going to put it on the jersey, it's the same thing with what North Carolina does, with I mean, give even Oklahoma credit with the Jordan and Michigan with the Jordan. That little logo means something. That's why I think the Lamborghini one is interesting because it speaks to the kids. I don't think parents go, all right, I want you've got an NFL career in mind where you're going to have all these financial advisors and people that are trying to get in your pockets and everything else, and you're going to have millions of dollars. I want you to go to school where they're going to teach you about investing. I don't think most parents think that, especially when you're talking.
Maybe more parents should think that.
We don't live in the world of should.
Different direction.
Yeah, but
we
again,
don't live in the world of should.
Yeah, but again, this discussion, Bo, I think basically this is kind of a Mount Rushmore discussion for me because there are 4 that are allowed right now that I'm hearing. I don't think Texas is going to put stuff all over their jersey, even if they could. So I think it's one spot right there. It's the NBA style logo. On the opposite side from Nike, they're going to allow one thing.
It's going to have to be the SEC on the opposite side of the Nike.
You're true. SEC, maybe it is the shoulder. Maybe it's one shoulder. I don't know. But if it's one on the jersey and it's 3 on the field, the 50 and alternate 25s, that's what I'm trying to figure out is what are those brands that you guys will allow? And if you're telling me the Lamborghini's got enough cachet there, like what are those others that you would allow to see on your field and it wouldn't make you want to vomit in your mouth?
I think if Texas aligned with one of the major auto dealers, whether that's Ford or Chevy, there's a hell of a lot. There's at least as many Texas football players driving Ford F-150s or Chevy Z71s as there are driving Lamborghinis.
Right, but do you want to get in? I mean, we know that war has been going on.
Oh, they got a Ford on their logo.
Dude, that war's been
it's
going on.
It's on the field. Nobody gives a shit anyway except for Ford and the pocketbook. Nobody.
Who
there's not one person who's going to Memorial Stadium and be like, oh, man, that logo on the 25 was fire.
You know who cares?
There.
You know who cares? The recruits. That's what it's about. If you're going to do that, that's what it's about, making Texas, not even just the recruits, the Twitter world. It's about making Texas the cool brand again. And that's what, if Texas has on each 25, the SEC spread, and then they've got Lamborghini on the other side of the 25, leave the Longhorn by itself. You don't fuck with the Longhorn at the 50-yard line. I'm sorry. You just don't. It's just the steerhead. Leave it there. But on your alternating 25s, if you had the SEC logo and the Lamborghini logo, like when kids, when you see that on TV, that's the kind of thing that blows up on Twitter. And you have kids from California and Florida and New Jersey going, I'm going to go play in Texas.
I guess my point, Chance, is the kid cares a hell of a lot more about getting the Lamborghini and not having it on the field. Like, at the end of the day, it's a field. Even the kids don't care. When you were recruited, would you have given a damn what was on the field at the University of Texas?
No, but when I came to Texas, the reason I came to Texas, I loved A&M. Let's be real honest about that. I had the first time I went and watched a game in Kyle Field, it was the game that A&M beat Nebraska, who was number 2 at the time. That place was awesome. It was a 2:30 game. When it was done, it was around 5:30, 6 o'clock. We were in the locker room. We came out. Everybody had kind of left. It was a clear blue sky, 68 degrees, gorgeous. I was like, I can do this. But it was because Kirk Herbstreit and those guys, Texas is the Taj Mahal of college football. It was the cool place to go. It was the end place. I didn't care that A&M felt like the right place at the time. I was like, shit, Texas is, that's where all the boys go. That's where the guys go. This is where this team is going. That's why I went there. That's why it's important, because perception is reality, especially in the mind of kids.
The most stodgic, classic, not flash program is the one that just won the national title over Washington, a team that half the people couldn't pick out of a fucking map. So obviously it's not translating to wins on the field.
Yeah. It's just kind of all, again, it's about the what image do you want to put out there? By the way, to Morgan, who we love, one of our favorite fans watching in, Morgan says Lamborghini is a pipe dream. They're an Italian automaker who sell mostly in the Middle East and Europe. Let's be realistic. Morgan, your starting center has a Lamborghini deal. Your running back that just went to the NFL had a Lamborghini deal, and you lined them up at the facility like they were Greek columns.
No,
Like, what do you
Lamborghini
mean?
isn't a pipe dream. It's just a matter of that's the affiliation that Texas is going for.
Right.
If
It's absolutely
look,
realistic.
I'm a almost 46-year-old guy that's called the country freaking gorilla. So obviously I'm probably not the key indicator for what's cool to 17-year-old kids. My daughter is 16 and she'd tell me I'm an idiot. So she'd probably, I mean, if she had her way, it'd be Temu and something else on the field. So
Yeah.
I guess Texas needs to pick their affiliations carefully.
Texas Tech could put Temu on theirs.
Huh?
Texas Tech could put Temu on theirs.
See, and that's the thing, guys. There's jokes about what other schools could put on their field.
Oh,
But to me, I can't think of another school except maybe like USC or UCLA. I can't think of another school that would dare to put the Lamborghini logo on their stuff and not get made fun of.
If you don't think the University of Miami would slap a Lambo logo on their jersey tomorrow if the price was right, you are smoking crack.
Miami's another one. You're right. Miami could get away with it. Maybe.
It's the U. Like, it's only if they thought Lamborghini wasn't good enough.
It's not. It's this.
Well, now it's this because they don't win shit.
Hey, I'll never forget.
It used to be this,
bro.
Now it's more like this.
I will never, ever, ever forget this. Tim Brewster, at the time I was getting recruited, Miami was. I mean, they were pretty hot and heavy on me, and they were kind of a hot deal at that time. If you remember, they were winning a lot.
Yeah.
And Tim Brewster goes, Chance, if you want to go play in that Miami, that's fine. You can enjoy the 18,000 that actually show up to every game. I went,
yeah,
you're right.
There it is. We got some good stuff coming in on the Specs chat. Chris Bennett says, I like how Texas simplified the jersey last year. It looked great. Chris, I'm glad you said it, because that's another part of the Longhorn lore. You guys know it. Every time fans start getting snarky about, what about this? What about a black jersey? What about change the helmet? What about this or that? You guys always come back to, we are what we are, right? We have our uniform and we're not going to mess with it. And I think there's something to that you don't want to mess with. So it's this battle of, do you want to get into that world or not?
So I'll tell you, Chad, I had dinner on Saturday night. It was really awesome. A guy he was a quarterback in the Arena League for the Wranglers when I got there, and he had been in the league for quite some time. And his son, they live in Oklahoma City. He's a surgeon now, and his son was playing in Tomball, and so he called, and we went and had dinner, and it was awesome. And that was the conversation we had because he's an Oklahoma fan. His son comes to dinner specifically wearing an OU shirt just because they were coming to dinner with me, which I thought was a very nice touch, Fitz. But, you know, in the conversation, he brought it up and he said, I have so much respect for Texas. He said, it pissed me off because Oklahoma went and started messing with their uniforms and having that alternate, even though they only wear it once a year. Mm-hmm. They came up with an alternate. He said, I respect Texas because Texas is what they are. They're white pants, orange jersey, white helmet, or all white. That's it. And that's who they've been. And they don't need to change it for anybody. They don't need to do all this other stuff, which I get. That's why I'm not so big on putting it on the uniform. But I think it would be cool as hell to be, you know, to have that Lamborghini bull on the 25-yard line with the flames coming at it in a night game at DKR with the orange lights flashing everywhere. Like, that's the shit that Twitter blows up about that makes Texas the place.
Yeah. At the very least, Bo, they should figure out a way to have like a burnt orange Lambo lead the team in one, like Bevo and then a Lambo somehow. Like that would be cool.
At the end of the day, they just need to pick the message they want to carry on, not just for 1 year, but for 10.
Yeah.
And if that's Lambos and Flash, then Lambos or Ferraris or, you know, whatever would be. Your mom's cracking me up, Chance. No, I'm late because apparently my company decided to make our computers not accessible to anything in the Google world. Therefore, I couldn't access the links, the registry.
That's one of the best
updates at 7 o'clock tonight that basically said, fuck you, Bo. You're not allowed to use your work computer to do a show at your house, even though.
Look, you can always say this.
That's funny.
My stepdad decided tonight, you know, Wednesday night is cigar night. That's they go have scotch and cigars on Wednesday night and solve the world's problems.
I got one for him.
Well, he came home tonight. My mom asked him to stop by the store for one thing: milk. That was it. He walked in and he said, Don't ever ask the drunk man to go. He came home with 2 things of sushi, 2 random avocados, 1 thing of milk. Like, he came in with like the most random pile. And as of this moment, he's laying in his bed with a rag over his head.
Because she hit him with it, or because he's just worn out?
Oh no, because he had too much fun at cigar night. We'll just
All right, fellas, we got
Really
Aaron
had
Williams
too much
ready
fun
to
at
check
cigar
in.
night? Just make you.
We got Aaron Williams ready to check in, Chance. Before we get to him, let's have you tell the folks about Arch Public. You teased them a little bit earlier. Tell them more about it.
I did. Arch Public, these guys are great. Run by Tillman Holloway, former offensive lineman at the University of Texas. He was a Macomb School of Business guy. He's a finance guy. He is phenomenal. So what this is, it puts algorithms to work for you for your money. They're making on average 8 to 10% a month on their money. And all you have to do is wake up. The algorithms do it. You know, I told my mother will be sad about this, but when I first got on with Tillman, the algorithm went 2 weeks without taking a single trade. And why? I texted Tillman. I said, Tillman, I know you gave me a virgin bot, but I'm ready for that bot to take the next step. What do we need to do? And he laughed and he said, well, that's the point. That's why people lose money in the market, is because they let emotion take control. Well, guess what? Arch Public, their algorithms take that out of it. You put the money in, the algorithms tell you when the trades are there, and they're just trading the gap strategy. So you're not writing a single trade. You're riding the gap. You're shorting and longing it. You're in and out within an hour. You wake up the next morning and see how much money you make. It's been phenomenal. I've got a lot of friends getting onto it right now. My dad's in it. I'm in it. We're doing it ourselves. Give it a scan of that QR code. And I tell you what, if you find me on Twitter @ChanceMock, shoot me a DM. I will hook you up with Tillman. He can talk to you directly. I'm not a financial advisor. I will never tell you what to do. All I can tell you is I trust them. I use the product. It's been working phenomenally. I couldn't be more happy with what it's doing. Give them a shot. In today's market, you have to grow your money or you're losing money. Inflation's out of control. Arch Public, if you can make 8% on your money every month, I think it's a pretty damn good deal. It's at least worth a conversation.
There you have it. It is The Outsiders, brought to you by Poncho and Bo. What?
What's up, brothering? I was just going to ask if you have to pay extra for the Virgin bot.
Only in town. Only in town. All right, great interview coming up. That means it's brought to you by Last Stand Hats, the True Fans brand. There are 12 different designs of that Outsiders hat, plus all the other cool stuff they've got for you, whether you're a Longhorn fan or a fan of one of the other teams they deal with. Go check them out. There's your QR code, Last Stand Hats. Your promo code is Outsiders10. All right, let's bring him in. Former Longhorn Aaron Williams checking in from what appears to be a cave. Aaron, how are you?
I'm doing good, guys. Sorry the lighting's bad. I'm actually at a family function right now, and we just got done. So I thought I'd be done beforehand, but so my apologies on the lighting a little bit.
That's all right. It's mysterious.
Apologize.
Like
if you were with your dad, everybody loves your dad.
Yeah, I know everyone loves my pops. So, but I had to give him a little break from today.
There you go. Chance, what do you got for Aaron?
Hey, Aaron, first of all, we appreciate you making time, man. I know you're busy. It's hard to fit us in with the pickleball and everything you got going on. I mean, I know. But, hey, with the resurgence of Texas, look, you were right in the middle of when everything was really blowing up and Texas was blowing and going. You went on to do phenomenal things with my Buffalo Bills, but looking at where Texas is right now, and we've been having this conversation about why I think, the Lamborghini thing is great, because Texas is once again becoming the cool place to go. It's no longer, this place that's getting beat over the last decade. That's kind of what it was. Now it's like when you tell your friends, man, I think I'm going to go to Texas, like they're all starting to get jealous again, like it was in our days. So what do you think is the biggest thing that's changed that? Is it the NIL? Is it Sark? Is it the players? What do you see?
Personally, for me, I think it's the NIL. And here's why. When I came up right after you left, there was a tradition that I wanted to be a part of. So it wasn't really about the money. It wasn't really about the Lamborghinis or any of that. It was just the pride of wearing Texas across my chest. It was a lifetime goal of mine. So I feel like time has definitely changed since I've been recruiting. Now that money's involved, things are definitely going to change, and it's a pros and cons kind of thing. Um, to me, I feel like the love of the game is a little bit getting lost because of the NIL deals and whatnot. But for Texas to have, I mean, we're Texas, man, so we need to get somebody. We're going to do whatever it takes to get them, and to have that that reputation of getting back to those 04, 05 days. It also helps that we had a great run in the playoffs last year, so all that momentum coming in is getting that old Texas feel back again.
Aaron, would you be okay with the Longhorns putting a burnt orange and white Lamborghini logo on the jersey?
That would be a little weird, but hey, whatever it takes to bring the guys in. I mean, I don't really care what logo it is. I care about when you get on campus, what are you going to do? Like everyone, Chance, everyone in high school was a man before they got on campus. It's when that first day of workouts, of all the 4, 5, 3 stars, all that's wiped out. All that talk about how good you were, all that stuff is wiped out from then. So I hope that it's great seeing the Lamborghinis. It's great seeing the celebrities and all that come to practice. But we still need to have that standard, that high Texas standard that Chances went through, I went through, and the guys after us. As long as we have that competitiveness, that willing to want to be great, and not really just the money part, I mean, Texas can go a long way.
So Aaron, real quick, and then I'll get to Bo because I want to hit on that before we get off of this. When I came in, I know when you came in, to me, the thing I loved the most was how much talent we had in there, because every day at practice was a battle. Like, we're going against the DBs, and it's the wide receivers and the DBs going against each other. We had Derek Johnson and Will Matthews and Cedric Benson and those guys just knocking heads. And it was almost like practice was harder than the games in many aspects because, number one, it's a pride thing, right? We got to be in the locker room together. We got to live together. We got to eat together. And I'm sure as hell not going to go into the locker room having you beat me. Like, that's not happening. And they've all got the same mentality. Like you said, the 3-star, 4-star fight, that shit is wiped off the table. And now it's just man versus man. Who's going to win? I mean, talk about how much better that makes you.
It makes Saturdays a lot easier, because that, honestly, our game days is really is like a recess time for us, because Monday through Friday is where the grind happens, is where you're really tested, because the best of the best come to Texas. I mean, let's just be honest. And to prepare and get ready for the SEC, who has had a long stand of having one of the, if not the best conference for the last 10 years. We gotta be prepared for a little bit more of a hard-nosed football now, and to compete and to grind and to strive for a goal that everyone wants to achieve. That's where it matters. That's where it's the heart when you land on campus. What kind of heart do you have when you're tired and it's 3rd and 7, but you need to make this stop? Those are the type of scenarios that I like to put in young players' minds. It's not really like the off-field stuff. It's like, what are you going to do in between those two lines? And I know, Chance, when you win it, you had to throw against Michael Huff, Cedric Griffin, Jammer, the greats. You know what I'm saying? Like, the greats. And for you, it was like, man, like Saturdays when I'm in that game, man, Saturdays felt like a high school game, honestly, because I put in so much of that hard work between Monday through Fridays that Saturdays is just like a breeze, because it's muscle memory, it's repetition. So the more you do it, and the better you are, and your competition across from you is probably equally or just as good as you. It makes Saturdays way easier.
So hey Chad, since Jason couldn't make it, I'm gonna ask the Jason Dick question of this session, because
okay.
I'm from Round Rock, Jason's from Round Rock, Aaron is from Round Rock. Now he's a McNeil Maverick, but we're gonna lump him in with the Round Rock Dragons, because if he'd have been there at our time, he would have been a Round Rock Dragon, because McNeil didn't exist quite yet. So, but at the end of the day, he's a Round Rock, Texas guy. So this is my question, because I think I know how I'll answer. If given the opportunity to have gotten a car when you were coming through, what company would you want to affiliate with?
Oh, man.
He had an F-350.
I know he would.
Are we
Because the
talking
last
Aaron
time I
Woods
talked to him, he was calling me to get my boy at Texas Hitch to hook his truck up.
If we're talking Aaron Williams now, oh man, it'd probably be like probably the Ferrari. But definitely back then, man, back then I was a Ford guy, so any big 3500 would probably have been great with me, honestly. As long as it was lifted with some exhaust on it, with a little bit of speakers inside, I'm happy. I'm a happy kid right there.
That's what I'm saying. You can take the boy out of Round Rock, but you can't take Round Rock out of the boy. You'd have got a pickup truck.
Not at all. Yeah, I mean, I miss my trucks, honestly, but yeah, it's so funny just like hearing you guys talk about like what sponsorship would you want or what car would you want, because like, man, when I was getting recruited, I was just happy enough to get a letter, you know, just saying, just a signed letter from Mac Brown, and then show it off to my classmates, and then here we are now talking about, I mean, come on, man, 18-year-olds driving Lamborghinis, that's kind of dangerous, but hey, as long as they perform and are producing on the field, hey, get what you could deserve. You know what I'm saying? Those kids work hard for it. And, you know, times have changed. And, you know, I'm just happy for those kids as long as they produce. And not only produce on the field. I mean, I want these kids to produce off the field. Get your education and then have a plan when the game is over.
Okay. I have one more serious question, Chad. That was my Jason Dick question of the night because somebody had to ask it. I'm sure I delivered it terribly. But tell everybody, because not everybody does know your father and the background that you grew up in. Your father runs a lot of camps throughout the state and the country. But how does having a strong role model like your father, because I know both you, your brother, your sister, everybody made it to play college athletics at some level. What does that do for you from a mentality to have that strong leadership figure?
Allows me to pass it on to the next generation, especially the ones who don't have fathers or a father figure in their life to show them the correct way. I was very blessed and fortunate enough to have my dad not only just coach me, but like really take the time out of his time, his busy schedule, you know, with work and just providing for the family to take me out Saturday mornings, Sunday mornings to go work out and do extra stuff. Not only that, but to drive me to camps, introduce me to coaches, talk to coaches. You know, that's a privilege that not a lot of kids at that age have. So for me, I take everything that my dad taught me, and when I go to these camps, I do the best I can to further them by reaching that goal, or any way I can help, whether it be recruiting, whether it be just having questions about football techniques, or just what it feels like to be a collegiate athlete, because it's a different life when you get on campus, wherever campus you are. It's just going to be a different vibe. Everything is kind of handed to you, but at the same time, if you don't work for it, it is very quick to be pulled from you. So I try to install everything that my dad taught me into these young kids the best way I can, because it's a different way of communicating to these young kids now, but I do the best way so that it can click to them that first time instead of going in one ear out the other.
Aaron, you talked about NIL earlier. I'm fascinated by the idea of not only Texas going to the SEC, but going to the SEC with this new version of NIL. Plus, you can pay players and things are on top of the table, obviously, that weren't. And again, the recruits are walking in and there's Lamborghinis lined up. So as you look at Texas going forward, would you tell them? I always use the phrase "be Texas." And I say there's sometimes when you just gotta pull that sword out and you gotta be Texas as much as you can. Is this one of those times for you where they need to think about, we can't be outflashed by anybody in this SEC, or should they hang back a little bit? Like, how do you think they should deal with it?
Texas is always going to be flashy, man. I'm not going to lie to you. You know, we're you know, when I got drafted, they made fun of us Texas players because they felt like we had a little country club back on campus. So the flashiness is never going to go away. And I think the kids know that. I think when the parents know that, I mean, to be a prestigious school, you kind of have to have some type of flash to you. You got to have that. You got to bring some type of excitement to these kids. And, you know, it was flashy when I was there. I mean, we went to Red McCone's Ranch. I mean, to us, that was fancy. Like, the man had the best steak. The man had all the land, the giraffes, the rhino.
He was a white rhino.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't never seen nothing like that in Texas. So the flashiness will never go away, but it's the productivity that these kids bring. And I hope they know that if they produce, that more of that flashiness will be in their pockets as long as they produce. Especially now where you ain't got to hide it, or you ain't got to, go behind on the table and all that other great stuff. Now it's like, all right, hey kid, you did a great job. Boom, here's X amount or whatever. And then the kid's like, oh, it's going to give him the incentive to work even harder and to reach even more goals. Best receiver in the country, best DV. It doesn't matter. So the flashiness, and plus the boosters aren't going to let other schools outflash them. I can tell you that, guys, right now. Those guys are very much have a standard to them that they feel like no other booster can beat. So that will never go away.
Interesting. All right, you guys, you got anything else for Aaron Williams?
I do have to tell Aaron one thing. You've never seen anything like this before, Aaron. I'm just going to tell you right now.
Here we go. Here it comes.
So this is the only ever. So I had a buddy that was going to get my son a Josh Allen signed jersey. He's friends with Ed Oliver.
Okay.
And because Ed's here in Houston,
right.
And so he goes to the Tampa game a couple years ago. This was going to be my son's Christmas present.
Mm-hmm.
This is great.
Well, Josh, that was the game he hurt his back a little bit, so he was getting an MRI afterward, and he was all this stuff. So Laren brings this jersey back to me, and it's a Josh Allen signed by Ed Oliver.
Oh, my gosh.
So Ed, I was like, God, Ed, like, why wouldn't you just give the jersey back and be like, we'll do it again some other time? Like, he signed it, Go Bills, Ed Oliver on a Josh Allen jersey.
Look, I have no words because even myself, I wouldn't have done that. I would have just told you, look, hey, Josh is a little busy right now, but we'll work on it. But that's
Ed's
unheard of.
wild though. You've met Ed. Ed's wild.
Yeah. Ed's a country boy, man. Texas kid up in Buffalo. I understand what he's kind of going through, or at least what he went through the first couple of years being up there. So a little adjustment, but you know what? I'm gonna take care of that for you, man. You send that to me. I'll actually get you another jersey. I'll get it signed for you and all that. I won't put my own signature on it.
I like that.
You take the 1 and give Josh the 7. That way, you get number 1 for the Round Rock boy, and then get over here, quarterback.
Yeah, right.
Hey, he was. I will say, the first time I took Cash to Buffalo to a game, it was the Dolphins game. We ended up clinching the AFC East that night. It was a snow globe game. It was beautiful. We were right there in the corner of the stadium, and you were the legend of the game doing the Marv Levy thing, and Cash was like, yeah, he's doing it with you. And I was like, hey, I know him. He goes, no, you don't. I said, he played at Texas, bro. He's like, no, are you serious? I was like, yeah. So I thought that was cool. The first game he got to see you.
I'm glad you got to witness a Bills Mafia game. Can you, just for the people real quick, and real quick, shout out Chris Bennett because that guy knows my birthday. That guy shows my highlights every time. OU rivalry, A&M rivalry. So shout out to Chris Bennett one time. But Chance, can you say that going to a Bills game is almost, I'm not going to say it is, but it's like a tier under of what it feels like to be at a Texas game?
It is. It is one of the – that's why I fell in love with the Mafia and the people there. It's a blue-collar community, and they live and die by the Buffalo Bills. I don't care if you're going to a donut shop or if you're going to a Tim Hortons? Anchor Bar, Tim Hortons, Bar
yep.
Bill. It doesn't matter where it is. Buffalo Bills. There's some Sabres in there. We'll give the Sabres a little credit. But it is a Buffalo Bills, and I tell you what, the fans, they've been through a lot. People realize they remember the 4 Super Bowls. They remember the playoff drought years. They remember, but those fans still show up every single week in the cold, and they don't have the best weather. And they know, and this is why I love Buffalo, man. They know that people talk about the bullshit weather that they have, and guess what they do? They own it, and they say, look, it's us.
It's like us with the heat out here. Everybody wants to complain, but, we just handle it. We just deal with it and go with it. That's how it feels up in Buffalo with the snow.
Man,
hey, shout out to you with the Sabres jersey, though. That is crazy. That's one of my favorite color schemes of the Sabres, by the way.
Hold on. This is a Chance-like story. So, his Ed Oliver story? So,
yeah.
There used to be a good friend of mine was a member at River Place, and he played for the Sabres. His name was Curtis Brown. He ended up marrying Tony Baselli's sister. So, Baselli, Brunel, and Curtis all lived in the cul-de-sac, and during the off season, we'd play golf. And Curtis was a about a scratch handicap, and we bet $2 a match and whatever. But we decided to have one real bet before he went back. So if I won, he had to give me a game used jersey signed by him, and if he won, I had to get him this new Callaway driver at the time. So we get to the 18th hole, and both of us hit it in the water, but I ended up making bogey, and he made double bogey. So he signed my jersey all right, and he put, "Bo, you can't win with a bogey." So that's what I got to carry around for the rest
Damn.
of the
Dang. Honestly, that's a rule too. And I've been an avid golfer for the last few years, and winning on bogey is very ugly. That's a very ugly.
I'm not going to argue with the point. At the time, I made bogey to shoot even par though, so it wasn't that bad around the golf. But yeah, he made double. We came to the 18th hole. We were tied. I hit it in the water, and he got nervous, and he hit it in the water too. So guess what? I won the damn match.
Yeah, come on with the W. That's what matters.
I feel really bad. Like there's this Buffalo jersey autograph, like momentum that's building. Aaron, I feel like
show him. That's mine. I won that. Show him what I won.
That's true. This is not autographed. This does belong to Chance, though. This is a hand-painted Buffalo Bills bowling pin.
Okay.
And guess how I won it, Aaron? Guess how I won that?
Hopefully one from a bowling match.
No, bro. It's even better. I picked Texas to go 11-1 and make the playoffs at the beginning of the season last year, and that's what we bet.
That did happen.
Oh, that's easy. That's easy money right there. I'd have took that too.
That did happen. Now, in terms of a Buffalo autograph, I do happen to have an autographed jersey of Khalil Mack, and it's signed by his mechanic. Let me go get – no, that's not. I don't have that at all. All right. So, Aaron Williams, anybody got anything else for Aaron, or are we going to let him go?
We've kept him long enough.
Yeah, he's got to get out.
I think I figured it out, too. He appears to be joining us from, like, my granddad's old porch with one – light on it. Are you trying to get us to join a cult tonight? Is that what it is? Do we have to do some kind of a burning ritual?
You know what? I actually want to redo. I want to redo so I have better lighting, and that way people can see me and not feel like I'm in a cave.
Okay, we will do that.
If you had the ability to play music, we really need Nitty Gritty Dirt Band singing "Fishing in the Dark" in the background as it fades away.
That would be really good. That'd be good. Aaron, take care of yourself, man.
All right, thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you, bro.
Right.
Oh, my God. It's one of those where I can see it right before somebody comes on. And you can tell sometimes when it's good. And I look over and I'm like, where is he? Is he like walking down a dark pathway?
But Chad, in the grand scheme of things, that's not even in the three weirdest backdrops we've had.
No, we've had weird ones. We've had strange taxidermy.
We had a fireworks show. We had Leckler and I don't know what it was with stealing Wi-Fi.
Hey, we have an update.
Yes.
My stepfather has arisen from the deathbed that he was on. He's trying to eat, and he's giggling and trying to remember what all he got from the store.
Nice. Look at that. Look at that. That's positive news. I like that.
He's alive.
Also positive. How about Aaron Williams giving Chris Bennett an impromptu shout out? Well done, Chris Bennett. You are already a stud, and tonight you get verified by a former Longhorn. That's awesome.
I think everybody once in a while should just go on Twitter and say thank you to Chris Bennett. Yes,
absolutely. And Chris, now you know, CB, just in case you thought, should I take the extra time to recognize the birthday, to acknowledge it? They know, and they appreciate it. So thank you to Chris Bennett for being Chris Bennett. That was fantastic.
Chris Bennett beats the people that are having the birthday to the birthday. Like he's already on Twitter at 6 a.m. in Washington, like happy birthday. You wake up to it.
It is incredible. Also,
hold on. I'm going to show y'all this.
What do you got?
This is how far it goes.
Okay, hang on.
Chris Bennett, I get a text the other day.
Whoa, look at that.
From Brock Edwards.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, look, Chris Bennett this is Brock right there.
Wow.
Yeah. He goes, look, this guy still knows who I am. And I was like, dude, Chris knows everybody.
Dude, he knows everyone. I also love the fact that somebody's that excited of catching the show live. Thank you, BT, a.k.a. Pet Rooster. Thank you, Pet Rooster. We appreciate it. I didn't know the Outsiders had a pet
Is
rooster.
that Matthew McConaughey's brother, the pet rooster?
I don't know. It does feel appropriate that we have a pet rooster, though. That is fantastic. And look at this. Chris Bennett says it's not the first one. Montrell Flowers gave me the same shout out last year. It was awesome. It's just that's old hat for Chris Bennett. Chris Bennett's like, there you go. We
need to figure out what Chris Bennett's birthday is.
Yeah,
and
right.
Just inundate him with messages on all the platforms from every guest we have.
That would be good. Also, I like this chat. Kyle is kind of in my camp on this. I love how the national media is eating up the Lambos, but we've been doing the sort of things since Sark came here. Stand out. I love it. And Kyle, that's part of my point as well. It is not brand new. It is something they've already developed. It feels natural. It feels real. And I'm just saying, if you want to take that next step and you're looking for a logo that might work on a jersey, on a field, in one of those places, I'm just saying that this thing is, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool logo. And, it's that old thing too, Chance. Like somebody could say, well, someone could make fun of you. They're going to make fun of you for being Texas anyway. You might as well be Texas while they're doing it.
But here's the thing, and Aaron hit on it, and it's true. So when I went and played in the Las Vegas All-American game and the Gridiron Classic, which was, by the way, badass, it was at the Villages, and all these old retired people, they come by the thousands in golf carts, donning flags from their university, and they tailgate together. It is the coolest shit you've ever seen. But anyway, right. And I will tell you, I'm there with guys from Florida and from Alabama and from Miami and Tennessee and Michigan, and all those dudes, they're like, bro, could you all trade gear, right? Like, they're like, bro, you're from Texas. I know they gave me an entire duffel bag to trade. So, I have more shit from schools that you guys wouldn't even want to know. But it's true. Like, the perception from players, even the ones that say they hate Texas, is that Texas is the shit. Like, everybody knows it's the country club. You get more. That's the reputation. So why not lean into it? I agree with you wholeheartedly on that.
Yeah. All right. We got a couple more chats I wanted to get in here, and we also are. We'll get you some more sponsor stuff. But I do, again, Morgan, I think, is on one side of this, but he's not alone. I hate the idea of corporate logos on the uniforms or helmets. It's just wrong. Again, Morgan, not helmets. I'm with you on helmets. They don't need to go messing with the helmet, but the jersey and field, I think, may get some stuff. And to Matt, who threw out this idea, tech sponsored by Mission or Old El Paso Tortillas. Well done. Well done, Matt. Well done. And that's the kind of stuff that, you're going to.
To your point, I don't think anybody wants it to happen, but once you accept that that's the reality of what's going to happen, then it's a matter of getting it how you want it to be. Like, you just have to accept that it is coming, whether you like it or not. Yeah,
and be the best. And you got to find what's the Texas version of it. Right? If it will happen, and if you want to be involved, what's that version? What is the thing that you think?
Yeah, and I'm the worst because I'm like
a poncho logo would be just fine.
Right? There you go.
See, I'm adamantly against just having a sponsor just to have it. Like I said, Dr. Pepper is a great Texas brand. HEB is a great Texas brand, and they do a lot for the communities when there's floods, when there was fires up in West Texas. Like, HEB gives back to this state a lot, but like that feels NASCAR-y to me, right? Like Bo mentioned Ford. I'm sorry, you put a Ford logo, that's just, I'm selling space. You put a Lambo on there, like that's owning it and being like, basically, screw you, this is Texas. That's where I think it's different. I don't think you whore yourself out for the dollars. I think it's more of an image type thing. And that's, like Bo said, you pick what's that image we want and you go with it. Like Ford is the best in Texas. Got it. And if you're going to buy one, go to Covert Ford. They're phenomenal. Awesome. But if you're going to put something on the field, like it's got to be so over the top, like just in your face. You're going to talk about us anyway. Here it is, right?
So along those lines, and Kyle W. makes a great point about the Aggies that I'll get to in just a second. It's got to be within the brand. You're exactly right. It can't just look like some kind of cash grab. We have the money. But like A&M having a Bluebell logo. Well, their stadium is Bluebell Stadium. If they want to have the ice cream logo, that's badass. Like, I'm not an Aggie fan, but it would make a hell of a lot of sense.
Right. But to Chad and I, you were still working on trying to get your camera flipped. But Chad and I talked about the Bluebell thing. Like, Bluebell Park is cool. It's one of my favorite brands in Texas. I love the creamery. And there's nothing better than the story of Lima Swede being fired for falling into the strawberry vat. But oh, it's true.
I've heard that story, but
oh, it is so true. Hold on. Before we get down, let me
That is the weirdest story I have ever heard.
get settled for this one.
have you heard this story, Chad?
Oh, you haven't heard the full of it yet.
I haven't heard this
Story. Lima told us
Hold on.
this story in a business class. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Limas was working at Bluebell Ice Cream, and he decided one day that he was not going to follow protocol, and he fell in the strawberry vat. Well, here's the problem. Limas gets a ride to work from his mother who works, and she picks him up after her shift is over and takes him home. Well, Limas lived out in Old Washington. Well, he gets fired. They don't let him shower or anything. So Limas has to walk home covered in strawberry ice cream because his mother couldn't pick him up. And so in front of the entire class, I asked Limas, I go, how did you fall in the strawberry ice cream? And without missing a beat, with a straight fucking face, goes, because I like strawberry ice cream, I wanted to see how it tastes unfrozen. So he had reached in to try to taste it and fell in the vat.
He got Willy Wonka at the Bluebell factory?
Fell in the chocolate.
Oh my God. That is and look at this. I think we found something even Chris Bennett didn't know. What? Who? What are we talking about?
Yes, it's a fact.
Oh, that is the
We out Chris Bennett with a story he couldn't find on the
If
internet.
you could imagine a 6'5" Lima Swede covered it, because you got to imagine in the middle of summer, that's probably pretty sticky when it starts to dry, and he's having to walk.
Yeah, probably. Do you realize what that? Because that's not ice cream. If you fell in a real, if you fell into real, just normal ice cream you buy, that's one thing. We have no idea what is the sticky level, the consistency of that. Oh God!
And the funny thing is, Limas is such a nice guy. Like, he really was one of the nicest guys I've ever played with. But he told the story to the class, and there was no shame. He wasn't embarrassed about it. He was like, let me tell you this story.
I'm with you, Kyle. That makes the night right there. Aaron Williams was awesome. It was going to be great anyway. Shout outs to CB, but oh my God, the Lima Sweet story. I can't get by that one. All right, let's get back on track a little bit and thank some of our great sponsors like Covert Ford. We got a new Covert Ford spot for you. It may be a tad on the loud side, so if you're sensitive, get ready. This one kind of comes at you with a little rock music, so get ready, Covert Ford. Here we go.
What are you talking about? That was perfect. Not too loud. That truck was coming through with some thunder, and you saw that notice on the screen, 1.9% APR financing for 72 months. You're not going to get much better deal than that. Go to Covert Ford right there on 183. Get that new F-150. They don't have Lambos, sorry, but they have everything else you could ever want. The new Raptor Broncos. If you're looking for something economical, they have that. Go see our boy, the outsider that originally coined the phrase that's on our hats and our shirts. Go see Chris Abbott at Covert Ford right there on 183.
There you go. Oh, wow. Sorry. I thought there was more to that sentence, but
No, I stopped because I thought I was about to say something I shouldn't. So I just stopped. Sometimes the best advice is just stop talking.
wow, your brain turned all of that off. Your brain stopped your mouth like that. That was impressive.
My wife has me pretty programmed. If there's a mechanism where it's I'm about to say something really stupid. Beep.
Dude, that was so
And I
good.
just stopped.
So, Man, that was
We're
great.
living in the Matrix. It's all right. He's a robot.
All right. So, fellas, before we get out of here, we got Father's Day coming up on Sunday. I'm actually going to be with Doc Hastings on Sunday. My wife's going to go get to see her dad on Sunday as well. So, happy Father's Day to all the great fathers. Guys, if I give you the Williams father-son combo as a freebie, we talked to Aaron tonight. If I give you, that's Aaron and remind me, what's the dad? Anthony, right? Anthony? If I give you Aaron and Anthony Williams for free that you could hang out with if you want to, give me another sports father-son duo that you want to hang out with on Father's Day. I'll give you a nice lunch. I'll give you a round of golf. I'll give you whatever you want. Give me a father-son. Bo, you want to go first?
Do they have to be living?
No, you can bring people back to life. Let's do it.
I'm going to do this one for my wife because she's been a trooper for the last week putting up with my dumb ass.
Okay.
He's a gigantic Craig Biggio fan. So Craig and Kevin Biggio, and I heard Kevin just got optioned to the Dodgers. Like they need more freaking good players. But okay, fine. For my wife, Craig and Kevin Biggio.
Okay. Now, wait a second. Why did you ask me about
Yeah, I was about to say
living? All those people are living, right?
Well, if you said non-living, my choice would have been Earl and Tiger Woods because
See, that's where I thought you were going was Earl and Tiger.
Yeah, no, I said if you
that's why I
wanted.
was asking living or dead, and he said living, so that took Earl out of the
Oh
equation.
no, I'm sorry. I said if you wanted to bring somebody back from the dead, you could.
If it was about who I wanted, it would be Earl and Tiger because I'd love to hear how Earl got the best out of Tiger. Earl's dead, so I don't just want to hear Tiger.
Chance, was it just me, or were you about to Google Craig Biggio? Like, wait a minute.
I was like, is this something I didn't know about? Did something happen? I'm checking Twitter right now.
That's a good one. The Biggios are good. The Woodses would be good. Chance, you got one?
The Biggios would be good. I tell you, it's tough for me. I keep going back to the Griffies. Like, I think hanging out with the Griffies or the Ripkins would be one of the two because those are two father-sons that both excelled. Like, Calvin is getting there. Kevin is getting there. And Craig is obviously a Hall of Famer. Got it. You know, like, if you look at what the Guerreros, you know, Vlad was there. Junior's coming up. But you look at what the Griffies were able to do, Ken and Junior, what they were able to do, the Ripkins, both great players. Like, I feel like you'd have so much there for between both guys because they both spent so much time there. Obviously, Earl and Tiger Woods would be freaking fascinating.
That'd be nice.
I mean, it would be really, really, really incredible.
Yeah, that'd be good stuff. I tell you what, I'll pick something on each side of the house divided. For the Aggie side, I would go play a round of golf with Johnny and his dad. I think that would be just unbelievable. And for the Longhorn side, and I've been in a room with these two guys, I'd sit down with Earl and Tyler Campbell every day of the week. Every day of the week.
If you can't be a positive human being after spending a minute and a half with Tyler Campbell, you should just not cease to exist because that is the most positive individual I've ever met.
He's phenomenal. And by the way, guys, here's a good all-timer for you for Texas baseball. Good call, Morgan. Houston and James Street. That would be a hell of a get-together.
See, and I take those – that's the funny thing. You have to – you know, I think if you talk to a lot of players and, you know, even Chad, you've had the opportunity to interview a lot of people, and Bo, you've had an opportunity to be with a lot of people. Like, you take those guys for granted, right? Like I think about, you say James and Houston Street. Well, I mean, I went with Houston Street to Australia on the United States national baseball team when we were 13, 14 years old. I'd known James. And so, like, I consider those people my friends, right? So you don't think about them in that particular light, if you will. You know, you got guys like Adam Dunn, and I watch kids come up to him every weekend, which is really funny because the kids, I'm a huge fan. I'm like, he hadn't played since you've been alive, kid. Like, how are you a huge fan? Or did your dad tell you to come over and get an autograph? Like, but you know what I mean? Like, when you're around these guys so much, they're just people. It's no different than us three sitting here talking. They're your buddies. So if somebody said, who do you want to do a radio show with? Like, y'all wouldn't even be on my radar because, like, y'all are my friends and I get to do it all the time, you know?
Well, like, you bring up a good point because my first thought was Brooks Kieschnick and his son, who plays football at the University of Texas, because you get two sports and possibly the greatest of all time at the sport that I love.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I talked to Brooks last week. Like, he's a friend of mine. Like, we'll go play golf or have lunch some other time. Like, you're trying to find something outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah,
I think Todd Dodge would be a fun one. Todd and Riley would be a fun one.
Mm-hmm. That would be good. How about this one, guys? How about the Jeff Coates? Morgan, another good call.
I saw that. I don't know Jackson or his dad. That could be really freaking cool.
That would be really interesting. Our man CB says, "What about the Shipleys? Not a bad call. Not a bad call.
Bob's a good dude.
Get the Shipleys together and just pick a son, whichever one you want."
That would be great. Now that would be the question. You got Bob Shipley, and then who do you want? Do you want Jackson? Or do you want Jordan?
Here's what I want. Bob's choice. It's Bob's choice.
It depends.
Make Bob pick. Make Bob do it.
Hey, do you want to carry the conversation? If so, take Jordan. If you want to be a part of the conversation, take Jackson.
That's fair. That's fair. And if you want a decent song sung on a guitar, I think you want to go with Jordan there. I don't know if Jackson can sing.
You take the daughter at that point. You take their sister who can sing better than both of them.
That's true. And Jordan married a singer too, right? Wasn't Jordan with a singer for a while? I don't know if they're still together, but then they were like a singing couple for a little while.
I know 15 years.
Yeah, I know him and Aaron Watson they played together at Colt's wedding. I do know that.
There you go. How many people can say that? Good on you, Colt. You know what? That's just a reminder. Let's just throw up the poncho picture when you say that. Even if you didn't have Jordan Shipley and Aaron Watson play at your wedding, you can still wear a poncho shirt like Colt McCoy. Outsiders brought to you by Poncho. PonchoOutdoors.com if you want to check them out. All right, let's see. What else did we need to do? Oh, you know what, Bo? For the very first time not first time, for the first time in a while, let's have someone who knows how to play golf talk about Star Ranch. Why don't you tell them about it?
Well, Chance, kick it off. I can't play golf dead at this point, but Star Ranch is honestly one of my 2 or 3 favorite courses in the entire Central Texas area. It's not the super duper, private club, but what it is it's fun and it's playable. Your round goes reasonably fast because it doesn't have too many impediments. And some people would see that as a bad thing. It's not, because it makes it good for golfers of all skill levels. It's why Jason likes to play out there. He can go out there and play even if he shoots 105. But you also have better golfers that can shoot in the 70s out there. But the key thing is the greens roll true. You can actually make putts. The pace of play is good. And the beer is cold. Star Ranch, it's affordable. It's fun. It's right off the toll road, so it's easily gotten to from anywhere from Dripping Springs to Temple. You can be there in less than 45 minutes from anywhere in Central Texas. It's the golf club at Star Ranch, 252 Golf.
Well, you hit on 2 of my keys for a good round of golf: pace of play and cold beer. The rest of it's just immaterial as far as I'm concerned. Shout out to Star Ranch. Also, Bo, looks like, by the way, my Dallas Mavericks might be trying to make this a game with 4 minutes to go. So we'll wrap here in a second. But first, Bo, do we still have some crawfish season going on over at Stuffed? What's happening?
Well, they still sell it. They sell it year-round. If you can't get the fresh crawfish, you can always get the crawfish delicacies, the etouffee, the gumbo. They have a great muffaletta. You can dine in there, and they have all your Cajun needs. Even if it's not crawfish season, you can still get the Cajun sausage, and you can get what Stuffed was originally started for, to be the Cajun meat market. So you can still get your stuffed pork chops. They have a variety of food with things stuffed and other things. I'm just saying, go check it out. It's an old school meat market, Louisiana style. The food is phenomenal. Whether you get it fresh in shop or whether you take it home and cook it on your grill, it's Stuffed Cajun Meat Market.
Somewhere Jason Dick is screaming meat pie.
Well, he doesn't get a meat pie.
No.
He is banned from meat pies until he makes an appearance.
It's ready. Also, our man CB jumping back in. Are y'all ready for Pitbull? Pitbull was announced today as part of the SEC celebration. I believe we're 20 days away officially today, or not, maybe it's 19 today. 19 days till that SEC celebration.
Jenny and I said, Mr. 305, what the hell does that have to do with that?
Hey, that's straight magma. That's coming big time. You bringing Pitbull in.
I'm just trying to figure out the why.
Man, a 9-hour celebration on that Saturday, June
Somebody get like
30th.
Travis Scott or somebody, Paul Wall or somebody from Houston.
Hey, bring Pitbull out in a Lamborghini. They're already
There
going to
you
be
go.
there.
Maybe that's why. Maybe the
Hey, they're
Lambos.
trying to recruit a couple kids from Florida, Bo. Do you not realize this?
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
We were talking about things that are cool. Is Pitbull even still cool to the kids in Florida?
Pitbull will always be cool.
I think Pitbull's perfect for what you want on that day. Right?
Pitbull moved up the poll since we found out about Diddy. We'll just say that.
Okay, yeah, no, I'll give you that. I'm saying 50 Cent is making a dramatic comeback to the good.
That is a bad way to introduce him. Ladies and gentlemen, by contrast, Pitbull. Yeah, you don't know. That's not what you want to do. We guarantee he's not P. Diddy, at least for this show. All right,
Who
I'm
was it that did
standing.
that Fire Festival and got in trouble? Was it Ludacris or Ja Rule?
I don't know, but I don't think it was Pitbull. Texas is
Not
going
one Pitbull, but whoever it was that got burned on that Fire Fest is like, thank you, Diddy. I'm no longer the dumbass.
Yeah, they're going to have to vet that one. They're going to vet that one out. All right, I think we are about ready to wrap. Thank you for the ideas on some father-son duos. Again, happy Father's Day to everybody this weekend. Thank you for liking and subscribing and getting your notifications to Orange Bloods Live. We appreciate the support. All our best to Jason Dick helping some family folks move tonight or whatever his excuse was to not be on the Outsiders.
Bullshit.
Yeah, and thanks to Bo for making some time. Bo, safe.
His mom is moving on a Wednesday the 12th. That seems like a very random time.
It seems totally random. So there we go. And Kyle says, thanks, guys. Another great show. Happy Father's Day to everyone. Thank you, Kyle. We appreciate it. Appreciate everybody in the Specs chat. I'm seeing 530 folks as we're getting ready to close the door. Everybody have a good Wednesday. Oh, Lord, let's see if the Mavericks can actually make this a series. We'll
Hold
go
on,
check
Chance
that
has
out.
one thing he wants to say.
One thing.
Yes.
I just want to say, because it's important to me. My mom's brother, my uncle. For most people that know, in the Woodlands, there's about 35 of us. We're a very, very close family. And my uncle was probably the biggest sports fan in my entire life. He didn't play a lot of sports, played baseball growing up, but he was the biggest sports fan and was probably my biggest fan, probably even more so than my mom and dad. And he's been sick for a little while, and he lost his battle on Monday night. And it's tough when you think about it because I know how much joy he got getting to come watch me play. It was a big deal for him, and I thought that was really cool. And I know he's in a better place, but I will say cancer's a bitch. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, brown, gay, straight, man, woman, rich, poor. It does not differentiate. So hug the people in your life, and you never know when they're going to be gone. But Uncle Bill, it was a pleasure, brother.
Wow, there it is. Rest in peace to Uncle Bill and anybody else that has lost family recently. And what else you going to say? We're the Outsiders, and that